Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Eric Westman. As people start getting on, I just want to say hi to folks from, Cynthia from Manio. That's out in eastern North Carolina. Judy in Highland Heights, Kentucky. Welcome. Lisa from Madison, Mississippi. You're welcome for this information. There's so many people that need it. I'm excited to give you a little story, a little presentation tonight, and then more details about the class, Keto Made Simple class. And then we have a couple of surprises for you as well. Let's see. Hi from Chicago, Brooklyn, New York, Wilmington, North Carolina, China Grove, North Carolina, Atlanta. Hello, everyone from Utah, from British Columbia, Canada, Indiana, Apex, North Carolina, Katy, which is outside of Raleigh, Katy, Texas, Suffolk, Virginia, New York, Murfreesboro, hard for me to keep up, Las Vegas and Florida, and Vancouver, Idaho, Atlanta again, Oklahoma, Austin, Morehead City, North Carolina, South Dakota, Texas, Phoenix, Sealy, Texas, wow, Scranton, Charlotte, British Columbia, Midland, Texas, Lancaster, Ohio, Vancouver Island again. That's where we did the Canadian Broadcasting Company documentary, My Big Fat Diet with Jay Wortman. Australia, great. Hey, Judy from Australia. Texas Hill Country, that must be outside San Antonio. Southern Colorado, Corpus Christi, Montreal. Northwest Georgia, Alabama, Ohio, Illinois. Wow. Thank you for chiming in. And as I wait for more people to get on, again, I'm going to talk to you about a kind of big picture view of medical care, and whether you want to go down one path or another is your decision. But so that's the two pathways talk that I'll give, and also then give detail about the Keto Made Simple Masterclass. And then we have a couple surprises for you in store, so stay tuned. So Keto, British Columbia, Muskoka, Ontario, Williamsburg, Virginia, Beacon, North Carolina, Kansas, Grandy, North Carolina, Concord, North Carolina, near Lancaster, near Toledo. Fantastic. Well, it's our pleasure to have you and to introduce you for the first time, or reintroduce you to the keto kind of lifestyle change. And I'm going to kind of take a global picture about lifestyle in general. So I'm going to give my screen share here a chance. And so you might recall a poem by Robert Frost, an American poet who, it turns out, I was extremely lucky having parents. One, my mother was an English major and loved poetry. And this poem I actually sang in a high school choir, was put to music. The two roads diverged in a yellow wood. And it brings back to me a memory, a good feeling, but also the puzzle or dilemma that many people have, and including what we've all gone through in terms of medical care and lifestyle. And as I see it today, after 20 years of research and using lifestyle treatments, we really offer two paths to health. And the traditional medication path on the right, as you see, it's the well-worn one. It's lit, it's well-traveled. It's, I'm sure there are buggies and carts going up and down this, that, and this is the medical care you get from doctors. And but on the other side, this more dimly lit, some shady, if you will, less trodden, is the lifestyle path. And I want to just introduce. It's a feeling. It's a if you don't think you're on the right path, this may be why. And to me today, it's as real as this. You can go to the right, where just about everyone else is going. It's well traveled, or you can consider going to the left. Let me just share in terms of weight loss and obesity and overweight, which is most people come to a keto lifestyle for that reason, although you'll see there are many more things to do. So what traditionally the doctor will do is give you certain diet programs. You might purchase some food subscriptions on the internet, and they work for a while, and then you run out of enthusiasm or money to do them, and then you get prescription medications, and then if that works or not, then you end up getting weight loss surgery, because these other things just really don't address the underlying issue, which is the insulin, the glucose and insulin story, the weight promotion of the food. So that's kind of the path you can take. A lot of people do, and most doctors in my area will think of weight loss surgery first. They've just done a great job of marketing themselves. And then I've had people who get the surgery and they've never been on even prescription medicines or on medically supervised programs like mine, which is effective lifestyle change. So that's kind of you can go down that path. Of course, not said explicitly here is that you can also eat whatever you want for the medication and surgery programs, and that's a decision. I mean, so eat what you want and go down that path. But there's another alternative, although not quite as well trodden. The medical system doesn't push you toward it. So you may not have known that heartburn or reflux or GERD, it's called, gastroesophageal reflux, it's all the same thing, is managed by our current medical system of medication. Eat whatever you want and we'll just give you medicines. So heartburn is managed, meaning you might take antacids, you might take prescription medicines for this, and the medicine fixes it. But why not treat the underlying cause, which is the food? So, we've taught our doctors now, young doctors even today are taught to use medication to manage things, even as simple as heartburn. And we can fix that within a week for just about everyone on a keto diet. High blood pressure, you may not know that can be fixed with a keto lifestyle and weight loss. But the traditional medication approach, which is what all doctors really do, is give medication to manage the high blood pressure. So prescription medicines, if you're on these, you need to know that there's an alternative way to go about this, and that's the lifestyle pathway there. High cholesterol. Every week people come into me being asked by their doctor to go on medicine for high cholesterol. It's managed with medicine. When you may have heard of these pills, the statins, the fibrates, the niacins, when lifestyle is also an effective treatment for high cholesterol. It's not just a drug treatment. And I have to say, in the last couple of days, I'm a little irritated because all of these doctors in my area immediately try to get the prescription pad to treat high cholesterol, when lifestyle is an effective way to treat it as well. So now this is the big one. Costs a lot of money, costs a lot of quality of life from people. That's type 2 diabetes. And on the TV now, even with ads for medications, you'll hear this language. You manage your diabetes, manage it with medication. And you might have already, from pre-diabetes, then get diabetes. You get put on a drug like metformin without even being told that there might be another way to go about it. The lifestyle change. You might then be put on Victoza or Byetta or Jardiance or Ozempic or a sulfonylurea. And often these medicines cause weight gain, so that now you're in that catch-22 of the medicine to lower the blood sugar causes weight gain, and the weight gain contributes to the insulin resistance, which is the cause of the diabetes in the first place. So actually, when you get to be put on insulin, it's almost automatically locking you into that vicious cycle of gaining weight because your hunger goes up, your blood sugar is going up and down, you get hungry, you feel you have to eat all the time, the weight goes up, which makes the insulin resistance worse, which means you need more insulin to fix the blood sugar, and it goes on and on and on. Of course, remember, this is without regard to really what you eat. Although that even gets worse because some diabetes educators are taught and will teach you to eat lots of carbohydrates at every meal, and then use the medicine to manage the food that you eat, which I just have to say there's another approach. So if the doctor has told you that you're going to have diabetes forever, and this is type 2 diabetes, remember, think again. They actually might be unintended, not knowingly making you have diabetes forever by giving you medicines that cause weight gain. And I have trouble getting this across to some doctors. Some doctors understand it immediately and realize you got to get people off insulin carefully and safely just as fast as possible, because it is the biggest weight promoting hormone that we know of inside and outside the body. So if you've been told you're going to have diabetes forever, that may not necessarily be true if you address the lifestyle, go to the other pathway. But so now let's say you just go down that medication path. Again, it's the well-lit one and well-traveled. It's not like it means you have no problems after having this being managed. So the complications of diabetes, even under the best medication care, include blindness, kidney dialysis, amputations. If you've had a loved one who had diabetes and went down that path, you know you don't want to go down in that pathway. And this is even with the best medication care that we have. And there was a recent paper I bellyached with Willie Yancey, my colleague, about the best medical care is a bad outcome, the way we treat diabetes today. So there's got to be another way to do it. And if you've been in the clinic, in my clinic, you know I have these show and tell pieces from the 1864 and from 1923, the books that teach a low carb diet. So really, it's been around a long time, and it's been used for diabetes and obesity. And this is the reality, is that many people come to me on all of these medicines, and they might even already be on dialysis. It's not too late. You can change the lifestyle, lose weight, and actually improve these things, and very commonly fix the diabetes. You don't have to have diabetes, which is something that you might not ever been told. So of course, there at the bottom, I put on carbs. Yes, this is when you eat carbs, and so you can, to the doctor, it's easier because I don't have to worry about what you eat. I just get you on medication and more medicines and all that. And although it becomes harder and more complicated to manage someone when they're on all these things, but so I choose a different approach. So I ask you to don't eat carbs, and it is as simple as that. So you have to learn what a carb is. But then I get to de-prescribe medication. That's the path I want you to go down, the no medicine, no diabetes path. Of course, it's not quite as well lit. There might not be a whole lot of your friends and neighbors doing it, or even doctors who know about it. But here's the thing that's down this pathway, is diabetes is curable. So there may be some work to be done with your doctor to safely de-prescribe the insulin, these other medications. So the first thing I do is I help people get off insulin. And it might take a day, it might take a week. You have to be careful because it might happen on the first day you start the diet. So be very careful if you're on these medicines. But I can help, any other keto-friendly doctor can help you de-prescribe the medicine, and then we take you off the metformin, and then eventually you're just not on medication at all. But you might find you're the only one who's doing it, but that's okay. You no longer have diabetes. And just recently, this other doctor told my patient that, you don't have diabetes and your weight went down and all this, but that LDL cholesterol went up. And I'm like, so I teach every chance I can get about, be careful, be aware that your doctor is going to bring up this cholesterol thing. And if everything else is getting better, don't worry about the cholesterol thing. In fact, I spend a whole module in the Keto Made Simple Masterclass to explain why you don't have to worry about that LDL thing when everything else has gotten better. So that's the pathway I want you to go down. And then prediabetes is fixed, and you won't even get prediabetes if you don't have it already. So really the don't eat carbs pathway is no diabetes, no prediabetes, no obesity, no metabolic syndrome, which is high triglyceride, low HDL, no hypertension, high blood pressure, no heartburn or GERD. That looks pretty great, doesn't it? But yeah, it's a little dark. It's a little less traveled, and not many other people are going down that path. Well, we're going to bring you in to hundreds of other people starting this all at the same time, so you're not alone. You can be in the other side of the earth, and you're going to be connected to people who are doing it, and you're not going to be alone when you do it with us. So ending up with the poem, which if you haven't ever read it, it's Robert Frost. You got to read it because it's about a snowy traveling and a weary traveler, but the feeling is the same. That there are two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. And it just gives me chills to remember this. And it is a feeling. If you feel like you're on the wrong path, we have the science, we have the credibility, we have all the studies. Sometimes that's not enough, and you have to feel like it's the right way to go. And you're not going to be alone. We'll help you do that. And anyway, that's the two pathways story that you can teach this. We teach doctors, and I was taught that the medication pathway is the only way. It's the best way, and there are a lot of reasons why doctors are still taught that, but there is another way, and the keto lifestyle is very effective. It's relatively easy to do. You eat great foods, and so and I hope, and many of you have already told me that you're glad you took this path, and it's made all the difference for you and your health. So switching gears, you may have seen me on the cover of Woman's World. I joke about this with my medical students and residents because, I publish research papers and then they see me on the cover of Woman's World. I just have to say that while the cover is a little bit sensational, meaning, they say you're going to lose 60 pounds in a month, they basically multiplied the 15 per week out by 4, and they sensationalize the cover. The articles themselves are excellent, and they've done a great job in translating the message to their readership. I looked a little different over the last 7 years of teaching this. I thought that was just kind of funny. I'm more proud of I'm proud of both, but I'm proud of teaching other doctors at medical meetings. And I've been teaching this for now 15 years to other doctors. And it's really gratifying to see other doctors do this as well, even though I still have my own clinic and see the results in my own patients today. So my credentials are, I'm at Duke University, been there for 30 years now and published over 50 papers on the keto diet. I'm a past chairman of the board of the biggest lifestyle and medication doctors treating obesity, the Obesity Medicine Association, co-founder of Adapt Your Life. And then our recent book, End Your Carb Confusion, kind of puts together all of my learning that I've learned about keto and other diets. And, I had to explain why someone even in your own family can eat more carbs. And the personal thing is I have a brother who can eat a lot more carbs. And we explain why that is true and why some people can't do that. And I know it's not fair. So what I've seen in my clinic, I want to share with you is that these conditions are improved or reversed by any effective lifestyle change, and keto is one of them. And that's what I like to teach. We are the group that started the study of the low-carb diets 20 years ago, Dr. Yancey and I at Duke. And now the studies have been replicated all over the world. And so this is effective for obesity, type 2 diabetes, PCOS, which is a cause of infertility in young women, irritable bowel syndrome, or IBS. And it kind of just pains me to see new drugs being brought out for all these things when I know that just changing the food will fix these things. Fatty liver disease, had a young man recently who was told he had fatty liver. He was very concerned about it. And it turns out, yes, he was drinking lots of sugar. And so it's not fat that causes fat in the liver, it's sugar. And so we discussed that, and he's going to change. We'll repeat the scan. Our paper, I pulled out our paper on fatty liver disease, was published in 2007, where we showed you can reverse fatty liver with a keto diet. And in that paper, we actually had liver biopsies to prove it. Heartburn gone, and we have a paper on that with pH probe, pH monitors, in the stomach, lymphedema, type 1 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, heart failure, all of these things with supervision, medical supervision. If you're on medicine, you need to be careful and get help in deprescribing things safely. So I've learned a lot through the years, and one of the main messages that I like to communicate is that I try to keep it simple for people. It's overwhelming, especially when you have medical problems, to make a change. And so I found that there are a few principles that I need to get across. I need to have people understand the basics of nutrition. What are carbs and proteins and fats? What is the boundary of how little you can eat, or do you have to have a certain amount of proteins and fats? And it's important to know that. What to eat and what not to eat, probably the most important thing, and sort of the brass tacks or essence of what I teach. Sometimes if someone's really busy, I'll just give them the sheet of foods and say, here, stay to this. And they say, okay, I'll do it. And that's all the teaching has to be, because they have the wherewithal to figure out what to do. I just gave them the list of foods. Now, ways to get started, and this is a hurdle I want to help you through. How do I get started? Well, you can do it really simple. You can do it really complicated. It's up to you, and we will show you various ways on how to start it and get you over that hurdle within the class and the Facebook support that we have set up for you. And then finally, the very important thing when you get started is the mindset training, or learning the new way of thinking, so that you don't fall victim to the, oh, you can't eat all of that fat from your neighbor or your loved one, the other doctors. Yes, you can. And you need to understand why that's okay. It's almost like today we all use smartphones. Well, many of us do, on the far right at the bottom. I didn't grow up with the nice phone on the left, but I did have a touch tone and a dial phone back in the 60s and 70s, and then flip phones, and now I'm using a smartphone. It's like, the low-fat diet is like using the touch tone phone. That's when the studies were done, and there's a lot of science since then. And so, touch-tone phones work, but I can do more with my smartphone. It's a lot easier. In fact, you can talk to it now, and it'll dial for you. So think of a keto diet as the new technology that makes things simple for you to get things done. Now, we've had a couple rounds of the Keto Made Simple Masterclass, and I like to survey people. I'm a researcher. I want data. We launched this in November, and we've taught over 1,200 students in 2 cohorts of classes. The masterclass, as you'll learn, consists of videos, print materials, and 3 weeks of a private group to get started, so we can help you with all the different questions you have. The first group lost 893 plus pounds, so not everyone replied to the survey. I assume people even lost more than that. And the second group lost over 1,000 pounds. If you add it all up, we've helped people lose over 2,000 pounds in just 2 classes. And this is over the last 4 months. So I've taught more people through this class in 4 months than I have in 4 years at Duke. So, because you have to come to the clinic, come to the office, that sort of thing. So we've helped people lose over a ton of weight through this. And the method is simple, it's effective. We've published studies on it. I've used it in my clinic. And now we're showing you that the program that we are actually going to talk about tonight has these kinds of results. It's not just theory, it's applied, it's real. So we surveyed the folks in the class, and 94% said they learned something new about keto. So, and about a third were brand new. 2/3 had already learned keto on the internet, and yet they found things that were new. And over 10 misconceptions about how to do a keto diet we could uncover. There were the themes like having all the fat that you want, and there has to be a limit on that if you're trying to lose fat weight off your body. So thankfully, we deal with all these misconceptions in the classes to make things that might not work for you from learning it on the internet to working for you through the class. So I'd like to go through some testimonials. Melanie struggled with her weight her whole life, complete with not only the physical ups and downs of losing and regaining weight, but also the psychological roller coaster that comes along with it. Does this sound familiar? The KMS Masterclass helped to drown out the noise and confusion surrounding keto. And I hear this quite frequently. Where do I begin? There's so many, these products and all this, and we don't focus on those. Keto helped reverse her type 2 diabetes and also improved a genetic heart condition. Pretty amazing story. Kathy suffered a difficult family situation that led to a spiral of binge eating, shame, and self-defeating thinking. And I find this to be very common among my patients. She tried keto on her own, but actually gained weight. Internet keto, that is. So doing the KMS class, she's back on track. Headaches or history, depression and low moods are gone. Emotional attachment to food is in the past, and motivation and zest for life are back. So, the reason I do this as a doctor is that people get better, and it's a fun practice. I got tired of seeing people just get worse and just giving drugs to people. I was trained in that way, but I got tired of it. Marlene is a seasoned diet veteran. She tried several commercial weight loss plans over the years, but her reward for all that effort, gaining weight and being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and given medications that brought intolerable side effects. Doing the KMS class, she reversed her diabetes and has been able to stop almost all her medications following our food list. She was already one of my patients. She's lost 80 pounds and knows she can do this for the long term now. Jennifer was told she was getting older, we all are, and needed to accept that she'd always be heavy and was on the road to developing type 2 diabetes. Refusing to resign herself to this fate, she spent years counting calories and exercising hours every day, with the results being gaining weight and getting worse. She did keto on her own for a while, but felt chained to the clock with an intense fasting regimen. Yeah, there are a lot of complicated ways to do this on the internet, and many of them work, but why not make it simpler like we do? So she found the Keto Made Simple Masterclass, and with just a few small tweaks, her hunger went away almost immediately, and now she could follow her body, not an arbitrary time. It's an important part of doing this for the long run, is learning to listen to your body signals and learn what that's like. She says, it's been life-changing for me because I can actually eat and not feel bad about it. And I find that to be very common theme. Yvonne yo-yo dieted most of her life. After being diagnosed with hypertension at age 59, she started running half marathons to get healthy. But despite the discipline and dedicated exercise, her blood pressure got worse and she gained weight. She was diagnosed with pre-diabetes. After learning about the effects of carbs and blood sugar and insulin, she lost the weight and is in her best health ever. But get this, Yvonne is a doctor. So even a formal medical education didn't guarantee good health for a winning fat loss strategy. We have a saying that you can't outrun a bad diet. We don't talk about exercise in this class as you get started. You don't need it. So if you're not getting started because you think you have to have exercise, it's not true. You don't have to exercise to lose weight, fix diabetes, improve your lifestyle. So after experiencing her own keto transformation, she now teaches her patients about this way of eating. Great to see that. Lindsay, another doctor, was overweight most of her life. Watching her father take more and more medication for type 2 diabetes, she researched ways to reverse the condition and joined him in doing a new diet. A lot of people do this with their loved ones or as a result of their loved ones. After starting the keto diet, her energy levels soared and she lost so much weight that her coworkers barely recognized her. Now she pays it forward, and her patients and her other doctors and nurses routinely have their own keto transformations. And by the way, her father has lost over 100 pounds and has been able to stop almost all his medications. So this is the Keto Made Simple success path. And I just want to take a moment to explain. We've broken down what seems insurmountable into some manageable steps. You may be here at stage 1 where you're hopeless, you're burnt out, you're doubtful, you're discouraged, you're frustrated, overwhelmed, and confused, and you don't know where to go. That's pretty common. But this is where we want to meet you and educate you. So the learning phase is learning about the lifestyle change. We have a program that's simple, and it's a video and print material and a Facebook group to help you learn it and reinforce the principles. And the method I use, I'll talk about in a moment, is called the NEST method teaching you just what you need to know and nothing more. So you learn what to do in stage 2. Stage 3 is the implementation phase. So we'll teach you and follow you as you get started. What's going to happen is you're going to be inspired. You're going to learn from people who are already down the pathway farther than you are. They're in the same group that, and our admins who are part of the group have all done this journey themselves. And you're starting to get the confidence that you are going to have what it takes to succeed. The hunger goes away in just a day or two. And if you're trying to lose weight, the weight comes down about 1 to 2 pounds per week. So as we showed you from the surveys, you'll have results already within the 3-week time period of the class. It's pretty amazing. At this stage 3, we'll talk about cleaning out your refrigerator and cupboards and planning the menus and grocery lists if you need to, or simply what do you buy at the fast food or restaurant, or it can be as simple. So you start and then you're all in. Stage 3. And so stage 4 is the kind of metamorphosis phase where you're going to feel different. You're going to have more energy. You're going to feel more confident. What's happening here is that your body is using fat for its major energy. And yes, ketones too, but keto is not really the best description for this. It's a fat burning and a low carb kind of diet. You might have keto flu. We'll talk about that and try to help you understand how to minimize that. But I want to just say that we think it's about 1/3 of people that have headache or fatigue. Most people don't get keto flu when you do it this way. I don't know about other people's versions of this. So you're going to start getting results there very quickly in stage 4. And then stage 5, you're learning how to do this on your own. You're getting results. You're working with your doctor to get off medications. You have ongoing support in some kind of group. We highly recommend that. So that's the success path, that we break it down and take you step by step from where you are today in the bottom left to where you want to be on the top right. So the NEST method, really boiling this down to what you need to know, is you need to know the basics of nutrition. There's a module on that. You need to know what to eat. There's a module on that. You need to know how to start. Do you want to do it simply? Do you want to do it more complicated? We'll help you figure that out. So there's a module on how to start. And then there's a module on training your mindset so that you'll get briefed on how things are changing in the medical world, from looking at cholesterol from one way to another. I bring in some events that I went to around the world and talk about a father who learned about a keto diet for his son and who had cerebral palsy. And I went to a meeting there in Indonesia, and the son walked up on the stage. The doctor said he would never walk. And to the crowd of 400 people crying like buckets, we saw Tio's son Alif walk up on stage at the end of this 3-day conference. Anyway, I bring that in just to tell you that things are changing around the world. And even in a place like Indonesia, this is a comfortable thing to do because seafood was one of their staples. So how can the Keto Made Simple class help you, and why should you take it? It's tried and tested, even if other diets have failed. I've had people tell me, I've done keto, but you haven't done this kind of version. You haven't done it with me. Simple yet extremely effective. It's prescription strength. Over-the-counter keto can work for a lot of people, and I know that's confusing because some people are doing it in strange ways and it works for them, but that's because their metabolism isn't as tough as the people I see in the clinic. It prevents and reverses medical conditions rather than just managing them. Oh, I hate that word, managing. Leads you down your own success path. So if you're just starting, you want to get to do it right the first time, or if you're rebooting, you got off track, you want to learn again, I would recommend that you just start over with a simple method like this. Now, it's only $147 for the video classes, including a 3-week private support group to get you started or restarted with live Q&A sessions. These are all very highly rated in the surveys. We do recommend that you take advantage of the entire experience. There are videos, there's print material, there's a Facebook group where you can chime in as much as you want, and then there are live Q&As from me, from a nutritionist named Amy Berger, and so we're really trying to make this something that you'll learn from, no matter how you learn. If you learn from video or print material or actively interacting, we're trying to cover all bases. So, and that's less than it costs to come see me for one visit at the clinic. So, anyway, Lisa will talk more about that. I have one of our ADAPT team lead members to talk about this in more detail. So open enrollment is now and only for 5 days. So there's one more day that we have opening till tomorrow night at midnight Pacific time. Let me just show you quickly. This is the look and the feel. You go to Adapt Your Life Academy. This is what you see, the purple screen, and you go to the online courses there at the top. Click there, and a drop-down box shows, or drop-down list, Keto Made Simple. You click on the online course, Keto Made Simple, and then it pulls up this screen. So this is the Keto Made Simple Masterclass screen. Yes, I know this may seem obvious, but you click on the box or the button that says enroll in the course. That'll take you into creating your account and getting everything settled. Once you have paid for the course and get all of that in line, you come to the student portal. So this is where all of your materials will be about the class, the printouts, the videos. There's a welcome video, a video where I take you through the student portal and the class itself in real time, so I can show you exactly what to do. So if you're not very tech savvy, we've really tried to make this as simple as possible. And we have great administrative help if you do have trouble with the tech side of things, the technology side of things. This is what the videos look like. I give PowerPoints, and it might be me full screen or me in the little screen on the bottom right. Me going through the slides. For example, here is a healthy, balanced diet. So you want to start with all of the nutrients that you need and an energy source. And you'll see that this is different than the first slide about a healthy diet that you'll see in lots of other places. On the far left, you can see there are 4 modules with 3 lessons per module, and there's a quiz to reinforce what you've learned. It's not difficult. It's just another way to make sure you're understanding things. And that's kind of the feel and the look inside of the class once you get inside the student portal. So how do you sign up for the class? You're ready to go. You go to adaptyourlifeacademy.com, click on the online course tab at the top of the page, drop-down box, Keto Made Simple, and then click on the button, enroll in the course. So I'd like to now bring on one surprise. We have several Adapt Your Life alumni, people who've taken the class themselves, and I would like to, these are live testimonials for you. So Jennifer, if you thumbs up, you're ready to go. Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm just going to bring you on full screen, and tell us a little about yourself and where you were before starting the keto lifestyle.
Okay. I am 54. I'll just let everybody know that so you can get an idea of where I am now. And I'll back up a little bit because I started gaining weight in my 30s, and I was sort of the calories in, calories out kind of mindset, and I really didn't know anything about keto. I wasn't a big dieter, and so I didn't really have a lot of good information even about food other than the traditional things that were taught. And I didn't struggle with my weight prior to that. Maybe in my late 20s, I might have had a few pounds, but I didn't worry too much about it. But when I had kids after that and we started getting older, it was becoming a problem. So I did Weight Watchers. I started exercising. I started dieting. And I was having zero success, really, except for maybe 10 pounds here and there. So then I joined a gym and started taking some classes, and that wasn't working. And so I got really frustrated. So I thought, well, maybe, let me visit with my doctor and let me maybe get a trainer. And everywhere I looked, I was being told something different. So prior to keto, I was really confused. And the more I worked out, the harder it got. So I was told I was eating too many calories. Then I was told I was not eating enough calories. or I wasn't working out enough. And I finally just gave up. And so fast forward, I started getting heavier. And when I went to the doctor, I asked about the calorie thing and what I should do about it. And I was suffering with headaches. And there wasn't a whole lot of information that I was given there other than that I was probably not counting my calories right. I wasn't exercising enough. And so then you kind of feel guilty, like there's something that you're doing wrong, and you're buying the books, and I'm doing the Dr. Phil weight loss challenge and, whatever. And this just got really unsustainable. And so for me, going from frustration to this masterclass was basically going from frustration to freedom. And I just can't speak enough about how this class has transformed my life. I spent quite a bit of time later on in my 40s, and as I started getting close to 50, trying to figure out what to do. I started having trouble sleeping around 2003. And so even though I didn't have, I wasn't on insulin and I didn't have IBS and, all these other conditions, trust me when I tell you, I was very miserable, not sleeping, and the chronic pain in my body that I didn't realize I had until I didn't have it anymore, was really just debilitating. Then when my doctor was like, well, you need to cut sugar. And I kept thinking, well, I don't eat sugar. I don't drink soda. I don't drink juice. I couldn't for the life of me understand what he was talking about.
Yeah, I need to just chime in. I'm tired of your doctor already.
Yeah.
Not saying all right.
Yeah. So I did have to sit down and, figure that out. But after I started cutting some things out that I knew were obvious, like bread, pasta, and all of that, I had a little success. But that's kind of when I started looking into something else that I needed to do that brought me to keto and fasting. And fasting was where I started because I didn't know about keto, and I heard people talking about fasting. So when I was trying to research about doing fasting right, because I was afraid I was going to put my metabolism, do something damaging to myself, that's when I started learning about keto. So in 2018, I embarked on this keto journey and went out online, which I did have some success with that to a degree. But then when things stopped working, I started adding various tools that were being talked about online when one thing didn't work. So the fasting was the only tool that I had success with, but I was hungry and I got really sick of eating one meal a day. So then I started counting macros, and that became insane because I couldn't figure out how in the world am I supposed to lose weight if I'm getting, I couldn't figure it out. And so then all I thought about all the time was food, macros, measuring. Then I bought the glucose monitor. That was not inexpensive to do. I was measuring. My family was so sick of me and sick of hearing about keto and everything I was doing. So I didn't really, other than those few little things, I didn't spend a lot of money. I didn't do supplements. I didn't do any of that. But I did take a keto summit, and that's where I heard you speak. So I didn't know anything about you, Dr. Westman, prior to that. I hadn't been online. I didn't know about the list. I didn't know about any of that. So to me, it was just an utter blessing that I heard your perspectives. I heard your success. I heard your track record, everything. And so when I found out later about the masterclass, that was the one factor that really made me decide I'm going to do this, because I've spent all this time and immense amount of money on treadmills and trainers and, all of this stuff, and it's done nothing for me. And so I said, I'm going to try this masterclass because I believed in what you said and your success. And when you said prescription strength, I just said, all right, I'm going to do this. And so this master class was fantastic. So from the first day that we had the modules and I went in, it was so easy. Like everything, it didn't take a lot of time. I could go through the whole thing. I was not new to keto coming into it. So at first I was like, well, is this really going to be something I'm going to need? And that, looking back, was the dumbest thing to think that I couldn't benefit. But I kind of like to just keep educated and, you know, learn from a lot of different things. And I had no idea how this would transform my life. So
well,
once
yeah, what I do has to work, or my patients will come back to me upset.
well, you're right. You're right.
It's not working. And so I've learned that there's a broad flexibility in how to do it. And the way I'm a people pleaser. I want my patients to be happy and have success. So not all of the programs that you read on the internet have to work, you know, because there's no one coming back to them saying, hey, wait a minute, it didn't work for me. So we really try to simplify things. And well, so what's it like now? How do you feel?
Well, what I love about what has happened is that this class helped me unlearn a whole lot of the things that had complicated things for me. And it's just given me immense amount of freedom, because with the food that I'm able to consume, the hunger went away immediately. I was not expecting that after doing keto for 2 years, that it would like just go away with the small changes that you teach us to do. And I still am in the same lane from when we started, 5 months ago. I've lost 30 pounds. I've now reached my goal size. My sleep, I just posted about this today, you guys. I don't even remember when my sleep now really was bad. And I have suffered for over 20 years of waking up at 3 a.m. or waking up with a migraine in the middle of the night, or I can't concentrate because I just, and the pain in my feet, everything, I'm off anything that they could have given me, or any, the Tylenol that I used to take, all of the over-the-counter medications just to manage the pain. I don't take any of that, and I have the craziest energy. It's really amazing. And so I'm exercising because I like to do it, but I don't think I could have done that in the beginning because of the pain in my feet. So for me, knowing that I started losing weight. My experience was that I started losing right away doing the master class and doing this. And then it kind of leveled off, but it stayed consistent. And the support of the support group to me has been crucial in this master class, because I think if I tried to do it on my own, some of the frustrations or roadblocks or questions that I would have encountered because I came in a little confused would have been really difficult. So for me, I'm really appreciative that you just didn't say, well, here's this information, here's this, the fact that you all set this up with the support, and that the individual attention, like if there's a question, you guys, it's just immense to me, because I know the magnitude of people that you're serving and everything. It's really quite amazing. And then the continued support and that you have after the master class that you made available. I have really, really enjoyed that because of the speakers and the extra and the fellowship with the people. I really like that. So this has just been fantastic all the way. I can't talk enough about it. I just encourage anybody that needs something that works. This works. I do not have to do another diet ever. And this is sustainable. I can do this the rest of my life. I enjoy it. I can eat loads of food. I can go out to eat. I can be around my family. It doesn't matter. This is just easy. It's so simple. So simple, Dr. Westman. I am so thankful for you guys. Thank you.
Welcome, and thank you for inspiring other people today and every day in the class. I enjoy your posts, and we'll continue to go on this journey together. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye.
Lisa, are you ready?
I had to wipe away my tears. Jennifer is a rock star.
It's been awesome to watch.
Hi, everyone. It's just amazing. I mean, right, Doc? We live for these success stories. And if I tell you guys, we have so many of them. I cannot tell you that most of our students are, if it's not a scale victory, it's a non-scale victory. But almost everybody has had phenomenal results. And these are across the board in terms of age,
Yeah.
So
That's why we do this.
it's just amazing. It's just amazing. All right, so let's start with some questions, and then we've got another fantastic success story for you. We'll kind of stop halfway, and then Melanie will jump in. She's also amazing, rock star. All of our students are amazing, let me just tell you. But so she'll jump in, but let's get started on some of the questions. So Mary says, I can't stay on a diet for longer than 3 weeks max. I seem to give in to my cravings every time. I'm at my wit's end. Does this class offer any tools or discussion surrounding mindset and sugar addiction?
Yeah. Well, your experience is very common. And what I find is that you need to have the basic understanding of, if you're a sugar addict, you need to be very careful to even stay away from starches, because starches get digested to sugar. So people will come to me, well, I'm not a sweet person, and I say, but you're having potatoes and sweet potatoes and, or pasta. And well, but that's not sweet. It gets digested to sugar. So it gets absorbed as sugar and hits the brain in the same place that the sugar that you see like sugar. So anyway, you have to be very careful to eliminate all of the starches and sugars. And I mean, that's the fundamental principle of the keto diet, is that you eliminate these foods that make you hungry. And so the hunger goes away, you start burning your own body fat, and that happens very fast. The cravings will, go away after a day or two. And then of course, Lisa asked me if I crave fruit.
Do you crave fruit, Doc?
No, I don't eat fruit. So you crave what you eat. And if you might not be able to imagine that you can't eat fruit, but it's okay, you can. And so what happens is that craving goes away remarkably fast. I used to be in a smoking cessation world, helped for people in studies and new products and drugs. And this is a lot easier than quitting smoking, let me tell you. For those who've quit smoking before, getting off sugar is a lot easier. And then we have sugar-free things. So that's a tool that if you read the internet, you might be told you can't have sugar-free things. And we use that a lot to get you off the sugar. And then, ideally you transition off that too. But this is a common issue that totally gets taken care of in the masterclass.
Debbie says, why aren't more doctors on board with this eating lifestyle?
Do we have an hour?
I know, we get asked all the time.
The simple answer is they're just not taught. They're not aware of it. So it's like they're all using these touch-tone phones, and you come in with a smartphone and they go, what's that? So, if they were taught and the science is there, they would be all for it. So, there's a long history. I mean, there are books written like this on how we got into this mess. And we talk about that in the class. I have a module that talks about the paradigm shift, where we were all taught that fat is bad. Now it's sugar is bad. And, that paradigm shift takes a generation of doctors, or two, actually. So that means, it might be the doctors getting trained now. Actually, their parents did keto and Atkins back in around 2002, 2003. That was when our research was first coming out. So the doctors the resident doctors, the young doctors, are familiar with it because their parents were doing it. And so it takes that time for a change.
Yeah, I wish more doctors were on board. It's crazy to me too, I mean, it's just crazy how doctors wouldn't think about trying to get to the root cause and just, prescribe a medication that just causes more trouble.
Yeah, I'm afraid we've taught a generation of doctors to just use medication. And I'll use the analogy of, you wouldn't put dirty gas in your car, would you? No, of course not. Why do you put dirty food in your mouth? I mean, that's junk food and, the sugar. So, and then doctors in our training, we're really not taught anything about teeth. Teeth, that's dentists. We're really not taught anything about nutrition. That's dietitians. We're not even taught about toes, because that's podiatrist.
Wow.
So there are certain parts of the human body that have been carved out by the politics and the practitioners, when the physician should be in charge of the whole thing. So another way of looking at this is, it's a very holistic approach, because you're using nutrition as the foundation for good health.
Nicole says, I'm on medication for endometriosis called Orlissa. Will keto help with hormone imbalances and get off this medication?
I honestly don't have a whole lot of experience with endometriosis. In general, the hormonal changes are favorable, meaning that the endocrine system balances out better. But I don't know how to say that. I don't think it would get worse either. I think it's just kind of a neutral thing.
And Keto Meal Mama says, Dr. Westman, do you offer CMEs?
No, not yet.
Mary says, I have fatty liver and my gastroenterologist didn't seem to care. Oh, gosh.
Uh-oh. Well, it's because it's so common. So it's crazy, but, even doctors don't seem to care. And so when I have someone who comes to me who's 600 pounds, I wonder, where was the doctor when they weighed 500 pounds? And then when someone's 500 pounds, I wonder, where was the doctor when they weighed 400 pounds? So it's like obesity has become so common, and diabetes has become so common. Fatty liver has become so common that they become numb to it.
Yeah.
So don't, this is where Dr. Google is a good thing, where you learn about other approaches and you want to do things that have been tested. And our paper on fatty liver was published in 2007. I printed that out for that recent patient I had who was worried about his fatty liver, a young guy drinking sugar, not fat. He was drinking sugar.
And here's what I'm just, when you said Dr. Google, I just want to touch on this real quick, because so many people there's so much keto information out there. I cannot tell you how much outdated information and misinformation is out there. The groups, the keto made simple type groups, like keto for beginners, keto for newbies. I mean, these people are, honestly, guys, they are doing it wrong. They are trying to hit fat macros. They are completely missing the mark. And Dr. Westman is all about science and research, not about internet keto. And that is actually why we created this course. We created this course, honestly, for one reason: to give people a step-by-step method that is simple, that is doable, that will get you results. And honestly, I don't know one other course that's out there that will give people, in a nutshell, that convenience with, this is all you need to know. You don't need to know anything else. Just follow this and you will get results. And I'm so proud of that, Doc, right? I mean, I'm just so proud of that. We have changed so many, I mean, especially you, in your years prior to even offering these online courses, but changing so many lives.
Yeah, it's great. It's my mission.
It's our mission. Absolutely.
Treat as many people as we can, as fast as we can.
Yes. Cass says, can a ketogenic way of eating help a 76-year-old with glioblastoma?
Well, so glioblastoma,
Glioblastoma, sorry.
glio, yeah, that's a brain tumor that is malignant, and even brain tumors. I know there's a signal, and it's popular to read about the cancer and keto and neurologic diseases and keto, but the science isn't to the point where you sign off and say this is signed like a drug for those diseases. Keto is kind of signed off like a drug for obesity, diabetes, heartburn, fatty liver, those things. But no, I think you wouldn't want to just rely on keto to treat a cancer or a neurologic disease, but it can be part of the treatment, I think. That's undergoing active research now, and you have to be careful. Just because something's being researched doesn't mean it works yet. You might do the study and find out that it didn't work. I mean, that was the story of the low-fat diet research. They had hundreds of centers doing low-fat diet study, and they gave the study like it was the best diet, and it turned out it wasn't.
Yeah.
So,
and this is also why we teach you, this is really regarding mindset, which really, I mean, I'm an ex-binge eater myself, so I, know what I'm talking about when it comes to binge eating and sugar addiction. But this is why we teach you that this is really, it's a lifestyle shift. It is a lifestyle shift, that is what you guys need to understand. It's not a diet. It's not about when can I have a cheat meal. We have to get away from this entire way of thinking, and this is exactly what we teach you in the course. Karen says, regarding the masterclass, are the sessions done live? If so, can they be watched at a different time? I can actually answer that. And when does the keto masterclass start? So here's what I want to tell you, Karen, or anybody that's wondering. There are two components to this masterclass. Even though it's called a masterclass, it's not just one class. So it might sound like it's one class, but here's basically how it works. There are two components. Number one, the course itself. And the course is actually 12 pre-recorded video lessons and all the PDF resources that you guys get in your own student portal that you need to log into. So when you purchase the course, assuming you purchase it tonight, you will immediately get access to your own student portal. You will be asked at the time you purchase it to provide your username and password, and then this will give you access into your portal, and you can basically start the course tonight if you wanted to. Then number two is the support portion of the course starts on Monday. This is the 3-week support that actually starts on Monday, but it's in a private Facebook group for students only, students of this particular masterclass. So Dr. Westman and Amy Berger will be live in the group every week, twice a week. Dr. Westman on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern, and Amy on Wednesdays, time to be confirmed, either 6 or 8. On Wednesdays, and everything is recorded and everything's available to watch on the replay. We have students from all over the world in all different time zones. So what they are really discussing with you, that's more about the recap. They are recapping the course, and then there's interactive Q&A. So we want to make sure that we get to everybody's questions. Team Ayla, our team, our admins, are also in the group basically in the entire time, Monday through Friday. In fact, we're in there weekends, and we're in there 24/7 basically, answering questions and making sure everybody's questions are being answered and everybody's getting the support. Now, do you need a Facebook group? Do you need a Facebook account? No. If you are absolutely dead against a Facebook account, that is fine. You can then email us your questions. However, you're not going to get the full course experience without joining the Facebook group, because it is incredibly supportive, incredibly engaging, and there really is something about community that just speaks volumes. It's a very powerful thing, you know. So if you can open or create a Facebook account, that would be ideal. So that's basically it. Sorry for the long answer, but I really needed you to understand that it's not just one masterclass and done. You know, we are with you for the full 3 weeks, starting on Monday.
The survey of participants so far, the Facebook user, it was very mixed. Some people are posting every day. Some people never post, but they're reading very carefully. So you don't have to post things if you're shy about doing that, but you can learn and be inspired by other people's posts.
And then let's do 2 more. How about we do 2 more questions, and then I would love to go on to Melanie. She is one of our ALA grads, our alumni, if you will, from the very first cohort. So this is actually the 3rd time we are putting out this course. So we've had about 650 students per cohort, and we kind of cap it there because you know, we have a team. We want to make sure that everybody is fully supported. So you know, I want you to just know that it's not just rambling numbers of hundreds of thousands of people. So I'd love to get on to Melanie after these 2 questions. John says, I'm on LEVO levothyroxine for right thyroidectomy. 1983. Does keto affect the levothyroxine levels? Sorry, John. Dr. Westman will know what I'm talking about, what you're talking about.
Yeah, so as long as your thyroid levels are monitored, I haven't seen much change in thyroid levels in people doing a keto diet, but you want to stay on your medication for that. And it'll still work even if you've had a thyroidectomy.
Okay, great. Karen wants to know, what do we do when the 3 weeks is over? Starting is one thing, sustaining is another. Karen, we actually offer an ongoing, an incredible ongoing learning and support membership, and that is both of the ladies that were on tonight are in that membership right now. They've been with us from the beginning. It's pretty amazing, but we offer that for people that need it. If you feel like you want to continue on, there is that opportunity to do so. I
have to say, I've enjoyed the ongoing support of the folks who are still doing it. And then I get to bring in people that the students asked for. So I brought in the past president of the Canadian Cardiology Association, a friend of mine, and he spoke for an hour. And we bring in chefs who you get to see me try to learn how to prepare food. And we have teachers who come in and help the class based on what the students want. So that's actually been a lot of fun.
It's been a lot of fun. And we have, we just started pretty recently a workout segment, and we're on workout session number 6. It is just going amazingly well. We give the entire workouts, videos, etc. We keep it simple. Again, everything that we do in the academy is, you know, has that underlying theme of simplicity. So we don't want you to think you have to do exercise in order to lose the weight. Absolutely not. But we want to basically, guys, we are there to take you on a journey. You know, we really, as Dr. Westman said, we really want to take you from where you are now to where you want to be, you know, and whatever that means, we want to be able to give that to you and deliver it to you kind of on a platter. So that's what we do in the membership. But anyway, let's get on to Melanie. I'd love everybody to hear her story.
Melanie, are you ready? Excellent. So I'm going to say goodbye, Lisa.
Okay, goodbye.
Bring you back. And Melanie. Hey, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me. How are you tonight?
Doing great. And so tell us a little about yourself and pre-keto, what was going on?
Okay, so my name is Melanie. I am 51 years old, postmenopausal, no gallbladder, a heart patient. I suffered from ulcerative colitis, which now they suspect might have been celiac disease, undiagnosed. But I have had PCOS. My doctor believes before PCOS was the name for it. A lot of abnormal pap smears, a lot of ovarian cysts, things like that, that resulted in a early, at 26 years old, a hysterectomy, which then sent me spiraling into a very early menopause. So starting at about that point is when my weight started spiraling out of control. I have always been what they call thick or healthy here in the South, but it got way out of hand. And Jennifer touched on it a little bit in her testimony, but it was just this lingering frustration, because people would look and say, "Are you sure you're not eating more than that? Are you sure you're exercising like you say you are?" And you begin like a hamster wheel, like driving yourself crazy. Why am I not losing weight? This is working for this person, this person, this person, this person. Why am I not losing weight? But the overwhelming guilt of constantly being hungry, but not understanding why, and then feeling ashamed of eating. I developed I called myself a closet binge eater, where I would hide food. I didn't want you to see me eat, because then for sure you would know why I was fat, but I couldn't explain to you why I was hungry. I could eat a big old piece of meatloaf and a mashed potato, and an hour later I was starving, and I didn't understand it. As this progressed, I went into non-alcoholic fatty liver, started suffering from headaches, started suffering from what they know now was reactive hypoglycemia, where between 2 and 3 o'clock every afternoon, my sugar was just bottoming out. I mean, it was 30, 40. I mean, shaking, had to eat, that urge to eat, the desperation to eat. And any of you that has ever suffered from hypoglycemia, I know you're feeling me right now. You feel like if you don't eat, you're literally going to die, which actually will happen if you don't get your sugar up. So, I started the cycle of dieting. I started the South Beach and the Weight Watchers, and I actually, just the conditions kept getting worse. My weight kept getting more. I would say, okay, when I get to 180 pounds, that's going to be it for me. And then, oh, well, at least I'm not 200 pounds yet. And I was 190. And then it was, well, at least I'm not over 200. And then it was 212. And I found myself at a weight of 237 pounds, and suffering, especially being a heart patient, where I actually suffered a mild heart attack and had to have a cardiac pacemaker for an electrical signal problem. It is a degenerative genetic disorder that went undiagnosed. I had been hospitalized multiple times for atrial fib, bradycardia syncope, supraventricular tachycardia, but they were like, your heart's healthy. We don't know what's wrong with you. Right. And it would be, in my 30s, it would be, I'd have an episode, it would last for 2 or 3 days, and then I wouldn't see anything, hear anything for 9 months. So I'd be walking around with all the monitors and wires, and my heart wouldn't do it when I had it on. It would only, it would only do it when I didn't. So anyway, I was suffering from the depression, having issues sleeping. The binge eating was getting out of control, which then led to all of these bad negative feelings about myself. And honestly, I reached a point where a doctor just looked at me and said, maybe this is the best you're ever going to do. And that is a horrible feeling when you hate the way you look, when you can't stand to look at yourself in the mirror, when you can't shop anywhere but the plus size, where you can't wear nothing cute anymore. It's just a miserable existence. And then to feel your health declining and declining and declining. And I was just about at a point of just giving up. And I think what's important is I'm actually a YouTube influencer that's been journaling all of these diets. You can find videos where I talk about Weight Watchers and genetic testing for losing weight, and loseit.com, and all of these diets, and just desperately each time you can see the desperation's getting worse. Well, guys, I'm 3 pounds heavier. Well, guys, I'm still gaining weight. And it's just out of just pure desperation, I said, what do I have to lose? Because everybody told me, being a heart patient and not having a gallbladder, there's no way I could ever do keto. No way it's going to work for me. And I actually went against everybody's. I caught a lot of flack. People were really concerned about my health when I started keto, but I thought, what do I have to lose? I mean, at that point, I'm like, what do I have to lose? I don't have my health anymore. I'm on metformin. I'm on blood pressure medication. I'm on anti-clotting medication. I have a pacemaker. I mean, I'm like, what do I have to lose, really? Because I started thinking about quality of life. And that's what brought me to the keto diet, or lifestyle, should I say.
And what's it like now?
Well, I found your class once again out of desperation, because being a social media influencer, I was following all the big channels. I was following all the big influencers, and I was nailing. I can show you screenshots from Carb Manager. That pie chart is beautiful, day after day after day. As a matter of fact, I even had a video, 100 days of perfection. Well, I hit my macros, but guess how much weight I lost? None.
Yeah.
None. Calories under 1,800. I was eating all clean, grass-fed. The chickens were petted. The cows were fed milk. They were combed every day. It was just, if any of my subscribers are watching right now, comment about the crazy that you have seen disappear since I've taken these classes. I've actually just finished the Stall Slayer class as well and put up a review, but we're talking about the Keto Made Simple.
Yeah.
If I had to summarize why I love the class so much, is that it was all the information in one place. It wasn't this person over here at this channel is talking about fasting, and this person over on this channel and this blog is talking about this. It was everything in one place, step by step. Your path to success is brilliant. The everything about the coursework is absolutely amazing, and the feedback that I'm getting from my subscribers is unreal. But the reason they want to take this class is because they've been following me, and they've watched me go from this neurotic calculator, macro punch-in crazy person to a, guess what? It's changed my whole mindset. The Facebook group has been invaluable to me. I'm surrounded by like-minded people who are inspiring and motivating and constantly putting things out there where I feel like I feel like the classes continue to give to me through the support group, the ongoing support group, and being part of the alumni. The guest speakers that you have on, for me being a pacemaker patient, having the cardiologist on there was such a brilliant, I really gained so much from that conversation. And I think it's important for people like me to put myself out there, because I am a cardiac patient going against the general status quo, and that I should not be on keto because I'm a heart patient, and it's certainly going to kill me. And that's what I still hear from some people all the time, even though I have reversed type 2 diabetes. I have reversed non-alcoholic fatty liver. I have not had an ulcerative colitis attack in over 3 years. I no longer suffer from headaches. I sleep good at night. I'm off 2,000 milligrams of metformin. I have normalized blood sugar. My blood pressure is normal. My cholesterol levels, my HDL was 71. And when I started this, it was 32, right? My waist has gone from 51 inches to 38 inches. So what I gain a lot about this is I'm really close to my goal weight. I don't really have a goal weight, but I'm really close to where I'm comfortable in my own skin. I'm super healthy. I don't mind being a little full figured. I don't mind being a little curvy. I mean, I don't mind that. And so the mindset that I know if I work the plan, it's going to work. I know that my first month of taking your class, I had been in a weight loss stall for 6 months. I was still losing inches, but on the scale, I was in a weight loss stall. And by the time I finished your course, I was down 4 pounds. I mean, moved the scale for the first time in 6 months. So, great. I mean, and you guys have just been wonderful.
Well, thank you so much for your testimonial and then mentioning Dr. O'Neill. Time flies, but I realize I've been in this space now almost 20 years and I know a lot of people. And so and it just isn't me saying this, it's a lot of other doctors and other resources that I'm going to bring in as needed to be able to have you understand it, to whatever degree you need to understand it. So that's great. And I mean, Dr. O'Neill's a sweetheart. He's the cardiologist again, we're trying to meet the need of each group. Each group is a little different, and your story is fantastic. I'm almost to the point where don't say everything got better because no one will believe you then.
I know. I know. I'm actually getting ready to go do another DEXA scan, and I'm going to be sharing that information with Amy because Amy focuses a lot on good things are happening inside, even though the scale is not moving. And to show her, because I'm one of those people that the scale doesn't move, but I lose 5 inches, but I also work out by choice because I need to keep my heart muscle strong because I've already got a device helping it stay on track. So it's really important for me being a heart patient to keep my heart muscle strong. So I power walk 2 miles every single day.
Well, thank you for your testimonial. Really appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
So, Lise, I'm going to bring you back. And wow.
I know. You know what I really want to say to everybody, and sincerely from the bottom of my heart, here's what I want to tell you. And I'm talking to you. You know who I'm talking to. If you're watching this session tonight, and you're still on the fence, let me assure you that you can do this. This is our 3rd cohort, as I said earlier, and the results have been absolutely mind-blowing. If you're tired of listening to all the internet keto noise, if you have prediabetes or you want to reverse type 2 diabetes, if you want to get off your medications, or at least some of them, if you want to feel better and increase your mobility, if you want to reduce your joint or arthritis pain, if you want convenience where we give you the step-by-step plan, no more research, no more counting macros, I could go on and on, you guys. This course is designed for you. So I need you to know that. We are invested as a team. And, we start on Monday. And we are all in for the next 3 weeks so that's May 3rd till May 24. We are all in, all of us, Dr. Westman, Amy, there's me, there's Jenny, there's Kyle, there's Glenn, and that's our little team, but we are all chomping at the bit to get to all of our new students. And honestly, it's never too late to improve your health. It is never too late, whether you're in your 80s or your 90s. I mean, honestly, it's never too late. You can add so many more years onto your life by doing this now. So that's all I really want to say. doors close tomorrow night at midnight, so we don't open this class again until probably the end of August. So this is the time to get in now before the summer. And what I want to tell our existing students, because this has been going on since Monday, where we've had kind of the course has been open for enrollment since Monday, is that it is very important that you guys whitelist our emails so that they don't drop into your spam folders. So if you're on Google, or whether you're on Outlook, or whoever your email provider is, please Google how do I whitelist an email address so that it doesn't end up being bounced or put into my spam folder. Please do that so that you receive all of our emails. That is very, very important, because we send you some really important things that you need to know. What else, Doc? Do you have anything to say in closing?
I think that's it. I'm really excited for our next group. Can't wait.
Very excited. I can assure you as well, if you're not a tech person, we have an incredible rock star team that is there to help you. If you have any problems, we will help you get through them, in terms of logging in or tech or anything to do with technical difficulty. But it's pretty easy. But I mean, of course, there are people that struggle with tech, and we are there to help you. So if you, in closing, have any last questions that you want to ask us, please email us at academy@adaptyourlife.com. That's where you can email us. If you want to enroll right now, you need to go to adaptyourlifeacademy.com. At the very top of the page, you're going to see online courses. Click on that. There'll be a little drop down, and this course is called Keto Made Simple. That's the course that we are in. That is this course led by Dr. Westman. It's called Keto Made Simple. Click on Keto Made Simple, scroll down the page, and it says a big button, enroll in the course. If you have any problems, shoot us an email, but we are here for you. We're here for you every step of the way. So we hope that you join us. We really hope to see you next week.
Can I bring back everybody in sort of a Brady Bunch moment?
Yes.
I know it's. I'm kind of enjoying the bringing everyone together. If anyone has any questions for anyone or wants to say any last words, thanks again.
Let me see if there's any last questions. I think we're good on questions. I think we're good. Mel, you've got a lot of. You've got some followers on here saying hi to you.
What up, ninjas?
Deb says, love you guys. We love you too, Deb. Patty, I struggle, and you guys are awesome at helping. Patty, you are so welcome. We try and be super responsive. So if you send us an email, unless we're sleeping, you should get a response in 10 minutes or less. Lily says to you guys, thank you for sharing your stories. So many people have just said thank you so much. You cannot believe how you have changed, how you guys help to inspire us. So I want you to know, Jenny and Melanie, how wonderful you are, and that we're all in this together. I mean, we're all inspiring others, and we talk about that in the membership. We talk about that ripple effect, don't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
When we show you the results that you are going to get, all you want to do as a student is shout it from the roof and help as many people as you can. And we've got some incredibly exciting things in the works. And I'm telling you this, Jen, and you, Mel, we've got some incredible, exciting things in the works, and we're certainly going to bring you guys along with us. So we're excited.
Oh, so am I. Thank you for everything you do.
You're welcome.
It's been amazing. I just thank you guys, because this literally has transformed my life. I just can't. I wish I could hug both of you. It's been fantastic.
You will one day. I promise you we're going to have a big party together.
Yeah,
absolute freedom. Absolute freedom from the crazy. When they say keto without the crazy, that is no joke.
Easy. Piece of cake now.
Thanks, you guys.
I hope to see you.
Everyone.
hope to see a whole lot of fresh faces and names and help a lot of people starting
Yes,
next.
please join us.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.